Imagine a debt collector who calls you every single day about a debt you already paid off years ago. You show the receipt. You explain it's closed. And the next day, the phone rings again anyway. That's not a metaphor for your finances. That's a fairly accurate description of what rumination does inside your head. Except the debt collector isn't external. It's a part of your own brain, calling about something that's already over, convinced that one more round of collection will finally settle the account. Tonight, we're going to look at why that call never actually stops on its own, what it's quietly costing you while it keeps ringing, and the specific thing that finally makes it hang up. Part 1. Why the call keeps coming. There's a specific region of the brain that runs in the background whenever you're not actively focused on a task, sometimes called the default network. It's active when your mind wanders, when you're standing in line, lying in bed, half listening in a meeting. For most people, this background hum is harmless. But in a brain prone to rumination, this is exactly where the loop lives, running quietly under the surface, waiting for any unoccupied moment to resume the call. Here's the part almost nobody explains clearly. Rumination isn't the same as thinking something through. Thinking something through has an endpoint. You gather information, reach a conclusion, and stop. Rumination has no endpoint built in, because it isn't actually trying to solve anything. It's replaying a closed case, searching for a verdict that already came back a long time ago. The reason the call feels so urgent is that your brain treats an unresolved feeling about an event as if it were an unresolved fact about that event. The situation is over. The facts are settled. But the feeling, the shame, the regret, the what if, hasn't been filed as closed, so the brain keeps the case open indefinitely, checking in on it the way you'd check on an actual unpaid bill. Part 2. The 3 calls. There are 3 distinct versions of this call, and most people get all 3 at different times without realizing they're the same mechanism wearing different scripts. Call 1. The replay collector. This is the call about something already finished, a conversation, an interaction, a decision. The brain replays it looking for a different angle, a better response, a reason it was worse than it felt at the time. Here's the distortion hiding inside this one. Your own self-assessment in these moments is almost never accurate. People experiencing this kind of rumination consistently rate their own performance in a social or professional moment far more harshly than any outside observer would. The call isn't collecting on a real debt. It's collecting on an inflated one. Call 2. The catastrophe collector. This call insists that the worst-case version of what happened, or what might happen, is the most likely one. It borrows a very old survival instinct. A brain that once needed to treat social rejection as a literal survival threat, back when being excluded from a group had life or death stakes. That wiring hasn't updated much, even though the actual stakes of a slightly awkward conversation today are almost never dangerous. The collector on this call is essentially still charging you interest rates set for a threat level that no longer exists. Call 3. The verdict collector. This call insists there's still a verdict to be reached, that if you just think about it one more time, you'll finally know for certain whether you're the kind of person who ruins things, who's not likable, who always gets it wrong. But there's no verdict coming, because this call was never actually trying to reach one. It's not collecting evidence. It's just running the same search that already came back empty the last 100 times. Part 3. The price tag. Let's put an actual number on what this costs, because, same as always on this channel, a feeling this common deserves more than a vague description. It deserves a real figure. A modest, well-supported estimate is that people prone to frequent rumination lose somewhere around an hour a day to it. Time spent replaying, catastrophizing, or searching for a verdict that was never coming. Over a year, that's roughly 365 hours. That's more than 15 full days, every single year, handed over to a call that was never going to resolve anything no matter how long you stayed on the line. Translate that into what those hours could otherwise be worth. Conservatively, again, around $20 to $25 an hour in either direct earnings or opportunity value. And you're looking at somewhere between $7,000 and $9,000 a year, quietly spent servicing a debt that was already closed. Not stolen by circumstance. Paid, voluntarily, one unanswered ring at a time. This is what makes rumination different from ordinary sadness or ordinary worry. It doesn't just cost you peace. It costs you the specific, Measurable hours you'd otherwise spend building the life the rumination is telling you you're failing to build. Part 4. How the call finally stops. Here's the counterintuitive part, and it's the same principle used in some of the most effective clinical approaches to intrusive, repetitive thought patterns. Fighting the call, arguing with it, trying to out-reason it, almost always keeps the line open longer. Every time you engage the collector with a rebuttal, you've confirmed the call is worth answering, which is exactly the signal that guarantees a callback tomorrow. The actual exit has 3 parts, and none of them involve trying to win the argument. First, name the call instead of answering it. The instant you notice the ring, label it plainly. This is the replay collector again, rather than engaging with its content. Naming a thought as a pattern rather than a fact pulls it out of the automatic, believable category and into something you can observe from the outside, the same way you'd recognize a scam number flashing on a screen before you even pick up. Second, let it ring without picking up. This feels wrong the first several times you try it, because everything about the urge says the call must be answered immediately. But a collector who never gets an answer, call after call, eventually reduces how often they dial, not because the debt is gone, but because the line stopped being profitable to call. Sitting through the discomfort of an unanswered ring, without immediately trying to distract yourself or fight it, is what actually starves the pattern of what keeps it running. Third, redirect the freed attention towards something concrete and finishable. This is the step people skip, and it's the one that matters most. A closed loop needs somewhere to send the leftover attention, or it will simply reopen a related one. A short, specific, completable action, not figure out my life, but write one sentence, take a 10-minute walk, reply to the one email that's actually still open, gives the freed up hour somewhere real to go, instead of drifting back to the same ringing line out of habit. None of this means the call will never ring again. It probably will. That's simply how a brain wired for social survival works. But a call you recognize, decline to answer, and don't restock with attention rings less and less over time. The same way any collector eventually moves on from an account that never pays out. You were never actually behind on this debt. The verdict the call keeps chasing was settled a long time ago. The only thing still open is the line itself. So the next time that familiar ring starts up tonight, before you pick up out of habit, try naming it instead. Just name it. Don't answer. See how long the silence actually lasts. That's genuinely where the line finally goes quiet.